Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, let's get this party started before the sun goes away. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Thank you so much for being here with us on this exciting, groundbreaking. Of course, 20 years in the making, over 20 years in the making. Finally, we're here, joined by community, our local representatives, and MNC leadership, of course. As you know, for over 60 years, MNC has been at the forefront of providing community services, quality programs to our community from cradle to rocking chair, children, youth, families, and seniors. This building here really is a testament to the history and the commitment that MNC has to this multi-generational community, starting as a Head Start program, then the House of Mission Girls, and now transforming into housing for formerly homeless, displaced seniors. Thank you. Yes. And of course, this vision, this dream, this accomplishment would not have been possible without MNC's fearless leader, Santiago Ruiz. Please help me welcome him.
Good morning. Welcome and thank you all for joining us this morning. I'd like to impose on you just for a few minutes, briefly, just to give some context to the comments that you will hear from distinguished guests this morning that we'll take to the podium, starting, of course, with the Honorable Mayor London Breed, who had a most beautiful inauguration yesterday. Very classy, ma'am. And I'm not saying it because Santana was there. I'm just saying it because it was just absolutely beautiful. That blue carpet, oh, never seen it before. It's always been red, right? But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. So this site used to house one of our Head Start classrooms, and we were providing services to 60 children, if I remember correctly. The site over 2 decades ago was put up for sale. And it basically, Mission Neighborhood Center's Head Start program at this site was under threat for displacement. We were being evicted. And we learned that it was being sold by the owner, of course, to none other than PepsiCo Corporation. And PepsiCo was acquiring both lots specifically for a Taco Bell franchise. When we learned of this fact, we was somewhat alarmed, not just because of the fact that we were being displaced, but the economic impact, the negative and adverse economic impact that it would have to the 24th Street corridor, considering the number of taquerias and food establishments that are mostly family-owned. And so we opted to be bold about this issue and canvass the 24th Street corridor and interviewed or polled residents, homeowners, tenants, business owners, and the consensus was unanimous feedback that we received that we need to remain on site. And so we rallied to old friends of the community, the neighborhood residents, and not a former, she is now the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, Art Agnos, and former Board of Supervisors, Jim Gonzalez, who in a 90-day period were able to generate, and with a lot of help from the 24th Street Revitalization Committee, by the way, yes, I won't forget, they were able to identify $500,000 that we utilized as a down payment towards the acquisition of these 2 buildings. The idea was to make this a community asset, and it remained a community asset, and it will continue to be a community asset as 45 seniors will be able to call this their new home. These are formerly displaced senior citizens, and hopefully they will be senior citizens who were displaced from the Mission, and will say, bienvenidos a su casa. So with this piece of history being shared with you, I want to acknowledge just a couple of individuals before the mayor takes to the podium. Ann Romero is with us this morning. Ann, thank you. Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. Kevin Kitchenham also is with us this morning. Where's Kevin at? Did he leave? No, there you are. Is it? Okay. If I'm missing him, my apology. But these are individuals that throughout the last 20 years were always by our side no matter what. One in particular that started a relationship with Mission Neighborhood Centers is none other than Barbara Walco. I know she's here. Where's Barbara at? She held on to this project like there was no tomorrow. And so we are creating and we are extending or bestowing her with what we call the Endurance Award. Thanks, Barbara. You were always by our side no matter what. And so with that being said, I'd like to introduce none other than our illustrious mayor, London Breed. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. You know, I'm really excited to be here today. This is the 6th groundbreaking in the Mission since I've been mayor, and I am so excited. It amounts to over 600 new units in this community. And the reason why this is happening at this pace has everything to do with the advocacy of the people who are a part of this community, starting way back in 2014 when Roberto and others were marching the halls of City Hall as we prepared for the 2015 housing bond. And in that housing bond, when the late Mayor Ed Lee was our mayor, he committed to making sure not only that $50 million in that housing bond was set aside because of the gentrification and displacement of what was happening in the Mission, he committed to making sure that we did a better job to pay close attention to this community and to not only build more affordable housing, but we worked side by side when I was on the Board of Supervisors to pass neighborhood preference legislation so that when we build in this community, the people from this community have access to the affordable units in their community. And I am so grateful that the work that we've done not too long ago is actually finally being realized. This incredible project of 44 units for seniors and a manager unit is just the tip of the iceberg. Next month, we will be opening 94 units at Shotwell, and those are all 100% affordable housing units. And it's because, again, of this community and the work that continues to get done to make sure that we're getting those applications in, that you are at the forefront of these groundbreakings and the community activities that happen around affordable housing. This is how we support and protect this neighborhood for generations to come. So I'm looking forward to even more because of this community and because of the voters of San Francisco. Together, we passed a $600 million affordable housing bond last year, the largest in our city's history. And we are hopeful that with the support of what's the 2015 housing bond has yielded and the 19 housing bond, we're purchasing properties, we're breaking ground, we're building more housing, we're doing small site acquisition to protect people in their housing, because when it's all said and done, we know that what has happened in our city over the last 20 years has everything to do with the fact that we have not built enough housing in this city for the people who live here and are struggling to live here. And that is our commitment. We're going to work harder, and hopefully with new policies, we're going to work faster and get more units open sooner rather than later. And then I want to thank Sam and Mission Neighborhood Centers for their dedication to this community, not just with housing, but with programs, with child care centers, with everything that you do to look at the entire family and bring people together and provide the wraparound supportive services needed. I want to thank Mercy Housing and Doug Shoemaker for being here today and the work that you are doing to partner to make this possible. I am so looking forward to seeing the seniors move into this property and become a part of the fabric of this amazing community. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mayor Breathe. I would like now to introduce District 9 Supervisor Hillary Ronan. Supervisor Ronan has been a longtime community advocate for the Mission District, formerly an attorney at La Raza Centro Legal, fighting for immigrants and workers' rights, then serving 6 years as the Chief of Staff for former District 9 Supervisor David Campos. Supervisor Ronan has demonstrated a strong commitment to the community she now represents and is wholeheartedly dedicated to addressing street homelessness in our district, ensuring public safety in all District 9 neighborhoods, building more affordable housing, and protecting the culture and character of our San Francisco neighborhoods. Please help me welcome District 9 Supervisor.
Good morning, everyone. What an amazing way to start 2020. Yesterday, we got to go, and I agree with you, Sam, to the beautiful, elegant inauguration of Mayor Breed. It was incredible. And we got to celebrate the inauguration of Chesa Bodine, our new district attorney. And now we get to break ground on 45 units of truly affordable housing for formerly homeless seniors. I mean, what a way to start the year. What I wanted to say is I wanted to thank Santiago and thank Mayor Breed for the history lesson, because we have to understand our history to both learn from our mistakes and to know what we have to do in the future. And what is another little piece of history about this exciting project is that it is the first 100% affordable housing complex built on Calle 24, el corazón de el Latino Cultural District. Ay, perdón. It's what happens when I try to mix languages. Since the 1980s, since the early 1980s. That's not acceptable. And thank you, MNC and Mercy Housing and all of the Mission community for making this happen again. The way, like the mayor said, the way that we protect this community is by having housing that the city subsidizes, that the government subsidizes, because we know that nobody but the ultra-rich can afford to live in San Francisco nowadays if we don't have affordable units. And so it took, what, Sam, 20 years to get this going? That's way too long to state the obvious. But all of these 6 projects that we've broken ground at the Mission, they all started a long time ago, which means that we need right now to be fighting for the projects that we're gonna break ground on in this decade to come. So I am 100% dedicated to that. I know the mayor is 100% dedicated to it. I know this Mission community is 100% dedicated to it. So we're gonna get it done, just like we did last time. Thank you so much. This is very exciting, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you, Supervisor Ronan. MNC and Mercy Housing of California have been working hand in hand to ensure that our affordable housing vision for this corner, with an unwavering commitment to the cultural character of the neighborhood, becomes reality. And Mercy Housing has been a great partner. With us today is Mr. Doug Shoemaker, President of Mercy Housing California, a leading provider of permanent homes and transformational services to disadvantaged and vulnerable people. Previously, Doug directed the Mayor's Office of Housing in San Francisco, the city's engine for financing and developing affordable housing. Doug has over 25 years of experience generating affordable homes and leading initiatives to expand housing access. Please help me welcome Mr. Doug Shoemaker.
I don't think I wrote that bio. It sounds so much better than the bio I usually use, so I'm going to go with that. I also just want to add our thanks. It really is an honor to have been asked by Sam and Mission Neighborhood Centers to partner with them. Having started my career here in the Mission, I know the legacy that Sam and Maria and the rest of the organization have in this neighborhood. It really is an honor to be able to participate with you, and we see ourselves as sort of working in the service of the Mission District, and so I really appreciate that. And as do all of us, and you are right that Barbara has held on to this project. She has projects that she loves, some more than others, And this has been a labor of love for her for many years. So you're right to honor. And you deserve a Perseverance Award as well, because this project has not been the easiest one to move forward. I know there are lots of people who have contributed to making sure that we're here today and that we're finally able to get going on creating some new housing. I'm not going to be able to mention everyone, I'm sure, who's been helpful. I do want to acknowledge a few people. I saw Miguel earlier, Bustos, who's been a big supporter of this project, our neighbors. Amy Beinart in the supervisor's office has, of course, been very important. Our colleagues at the Mayor's Office of Housing. I want to just acknowledge our general contractor as well. They aren't easy times, but this is a good time to be working on this project. Freddie Carter behind us and Robert Tobiyashi. With the designs, I think, well, you can see them behind Freddie there. I think they're beautiful. And for that, we have to thank our great architects who are standing behind us, HKIT with YA Studios. I think they're doing great work. We have a number of financial partners on this project. As you might imagine, it costs money to build buildings. So the National Equity Fund, Todd Fabian and team are here, from Silicon Valley Bank as well. The Mayor's Office of Housing provides critical financing. The city provides really important financing to make sure that we can serve seniors that are formerly homeless. And so for that, we want to thank the Department of Homelessness as well as the Department of Public Health. This project is really unusual, and maybe some of you don't realize that along the way, as we were trying to scrape together enough money for this project, we had something that almost never happens to us, which is somebody called us up and said they wanted to give us some money for affordable housing. And George and Evan are here in the front from Farella, Braun, and Martel. This project is the beneficiary of $5 million bequest from the Betty Ferguson Foundation. And we were very lucky through Steve Vettel, who's a longtime attorney that some of you know, referred them to us and said they wanted to do something to help create more affordable housing for seniors in the Bay Area. And so we knew exactly where to put the first bit of money for this project. And I want to thank them and also Betty Ferguson Foundation for that. Thank you so much. All right, I'm almost done. There's a long list of other folks. I'm sure I'm not going to mention everybody who has helped move this project forward. I just want to say that it really is an honor. I hope that this building is as beautiful as it looks on paper when we're done. I hope we're all here around to celebrate. And as Roberto said to me earlier, we're going to do our best to make sure that the folks moving in here are, as Sam said, folks that have been moved out of this neighborhood, not through any choice of their own, but just because of the incredible pressures that this city's under. And so it will be an amazing day when we reopen this building and we welcome back folks that have been living in this neighborhood who have been forced out. And that will be one of the greatest pleasures that we will all have. So I share your wish, and I thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, I would like to welcome Mr. Eric Arguello. Eric is the founder and president of Calle 24 Latino Cultural District. Originally from Nicaragua, Eric has called the Mission District home since 1963. He has been a proactive community advocate since 1996 and an amazing community leader, fighting for the preservation of Latino Cultural District and against the erasure of the Latino community. Please welcome Eric Arguello.
Buenos dias. How's everyone? Welcome to the Calle 24 Latino Cultural District, and this is our centerpiece. Right in the center of the Latino Cultural District. We are very, very proud. I want to thank, of course, Mayor Lennon Breed, Supervisor Rowan, thank you for being here. Sam, it's been a long time coming. I know it's been about 20 years. We've seen several designs, several ideas. Money was there, then it wasn't there, then it was back. So, you know, you did it. You had a vision. You followed it. You got the community together to support it. And here we are. So we are very proud for that. You know, we've been fighting for affordable housing here for a lot of years in the neighborhood. We have reached out to about, 4,000 or 5,000 people in the area, finding out what their needs are. And all we ever heard from the community was affordability, 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 whether it's just services in the area and especially for housing. So here we are providing that, and we are very proud. So thank you, everyone, and congratulations to the entire community because it's going to benefit us all. Thank you.
Thank you all. So I wanted to acknowledge two things. One, I wanted to acknowledge MNC's board of directors that are here present with us today. Without the support, of course, of our board of directors, this would be a lot more difficult. And they have been with Mission Neighborhood Centers, with Sam, and in part of this vision throughout the decades. So if you could stand and be acknowledged, our board of directors. Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much for your support and your leadership. And I also want to acknowledge Yadira Diaz, who is here representing Assembly Member David Chu, who surprised us with 3 certificates of recognition, one for Mission Neighborhood Centers, one for Mercy Housing of California, and one for Casa de la Mision, acknowledging today's great event. Thank you so much. And finally, I would like to welcome back up to the podium Sam Ruiz, who will be giving us her closing remarks. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can. I just need to be honest with you. This is a very emotional moment for me. So bear with me, please. And honestly, Mayor Breed, thank you for joining us this morning, as well as, of course, Hillary. So this project is basically none other than a team effort. And I'm glad that Lila asked our board members to stand and be recognized. I am a blessed man. I consider myself a change agent, a community builder. And, you know, when you engage in that level of practice, that's very contagious. And I tend to attract people who think the same and who behave the same and who do it out of love, with passion, not because of the money, but because what it represents to our community and to the future of our community. And so it has been my board who year after year questioned, when is this going to get built? It's not easy. You know, sometimes I had to sweat it before starting a board meeting because I knew what the questions were going to be. And all I could do is say, bear with me, please, trust me, it's going to happen. And it's happening now. And it wasn't just the board who asked the questions and supported my efforts, it was also community. There wasn't a single moment when I did not receive any support when I called community for help. Whether it was our illustrious neighbor, Miguel Bustos, whether it was the mayor of the Mission, Roberto Hernandez, or Eric Arguello. And then, of course, you have individual professionals in this community who believe in what you do because it's for the betterment of your community. And so I want to say thank you, and I want to ask a special friend, whose name I just mentioned, to say a few words, a few closing words. Ann Cervantes, I also want to acknowledge that the number of times that I sought your support in designing Mission Girls, you were there for us pro bono. Thank you. That's appreciated. But now I'd like to ask my good friend, and I have to let you know that he's also my compadre, Roberto Hernandez, the mayor of the Mission. Excuse me, Madam Mayor. To say, oh, to please come up and say a few words. Roberto, compadre, puede pasar el micrófono, por favor. All right. Thank you, my brother.
Buenos días. ¡Viva la misión! It's days like this that I feel like, ¡Viva la misión! Sam, come here. Come here, my brother. Come here. You know what? To your board of directors, in defense of Sam, what you did not know was that Sam had a 2020 vision that this will get built in 2020. So next time you go to a board meeting, don't question him. Just let it roll. because Sam is the man, and Sam will get it done. Thank you, brother. You know, I was reflecting this morning, and I just want to give you a little history and a lesson. This place has been a center of change. At one point, and I saw George Simpson. Where's George Simpson at? This was the home for Centro de Cambio, which was a drug rehab program. And Maria, please stand up, because Maria, you were part of that. Thank you very much. Centro de Cambio worked with people who at that time were strung out on heroin. And it's very hard to work with people who are on heroin. Then you had Horizons Unlimited, which went through some changes, and thanks to Sam again, provided a home for transition for Horizons Unlimited, another organization from our community. And then you had the 24th Street Merchants Association. Where's Eric? Eric. The 24th Street Merchants Association, Sam once again gave home to that space. And then he gave space when Carnival San Francisco was going through transition. And Mecca, and then Mission Girls, you know, and La Clínica. Anybody here from La Clínica? Martin, you gave home. Where are you at? Thank you. Sam once again gave home to La Clínica. So this has been a transitional space for our community, which has a lot of history. So it's kind of a bitter but sweet moment today. As I walked over here, because I only live 2 blocks down, I didn't have to drive or catch an Uber or catch a cab or ride my bike or my lowrider. You know, but it is, as I reflect back, you know, I honor you, brother. Thank you so much, because I know that he did call me a couple of times because some people weren't paying the rent. I won't mention which organizations. And Sam was having a little budget problem. He was like, so I was over there to pay the bill. I need you to make a phone call. And, you know, of course, I would do that, call people up and say, you haven't paid your rent. Go pay Sam, you know. And they did, right? Everybody paid their rent, right? So that's why the building's being built, because everybody paid their rent. And the last lesson I want to share is that when he talked about the eviction that they were going through, and he did call me, and at that time we had the 24th Street Revitalization Committee, which I was part of creating with Ann Cervantes and many others, and at that time Supervisor Jim Gonzalez was the chair of the committee, and we did that on purpose because we wanted to hold him accountable to make sure he did some work as our supervisor. It was insane how we were not only able to get $500,000 for Mission Neighborhood Centers, but it was a package that we got of $1 million for 24th Street. And we were able to buy not only this property, but we were able to buy Brava Theater, and Mission Housing was able to also buy a property across the street. That was 3 properties we bought because we got creative with city funding within a short period of time. So can it be done? Yes, it can. We are the creators. We are the intellects. We are the thinkers of change. But it takes everybody to work with us, and I'm glad we have our mayor here today. And I look forward to working with you to continue the work that we've been doing to build affordable housing.
Okay, are we ready?